Let's Talk with Kermit Elliott. Today my guest is Laura Harwell. She's a former Marine. She's the single mother of 2 boys. And I'm going to tell you a little bit more about her story. And the topic today we're going to talk about is we're going to talk about beauty and how we define beauty. There's been a lot going on in the media with beauty and how people define beauty. And what we see as beauty, you guys may have heard of the issue with who was chosen to play Ariel by Disney. And it could be a black-white thing, or it could be of what you perceive as beauty these days. So Laura and I are going to have a conversation of beauty and how we define beauty. But first I'm going to read you exactly what Webster's Dictionary says about beauty. And then Laura and I will start our conversation. Webster defines beauty, and you can tell me if you agree or disagree with this, a combination of qualities such as shape, color, form that pleases the aesthetic senses, especially the sight. And that's why I use that Ariel example from Disney. Those are the things that Webster's decide as beauty. And as you see, sight and color and size and all those different things. And so Laura, what can you tell me just off your head without dictionary definition, how do you describe beauty? And then we're going to talk a little bit more about how you feel about just beauty in general and what we see.
Okay. That saying, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. What I think is that the observer, the one that's doing the observing on the beauty, they're the ones who observe if who is beautiful. It's within them, their eyes. So that's what I think as far as when you're speaking about beauty. And
And I guess people, depending on your beliefs and how you were raised and what environment you're raised in, there's different things that develop in your psyche of what is beautiful. There was an example a long time ago, and this is not a race thing at all, but where they would give little African-American children a black doll and then give them a white doll and ask them which, and they'll say, oh, this white doll with blue eyes and long hair is beautiful. And then they would think that the black doll was not attractive. So how, if you have 2 boys, so you probably didn't have to deal with this. So if you were dealing with a daughter that felt that way, and she's would be an African American because you're African American, an African American daughter, and I have 2 African American daughters, and so how would you approach something like that in helping her get her inner beauty? Because I truly feel that no matter it's inside of you, no matter what other people say, but how would you attack that with a daughter, or even if you mentor a young girl these days?
Well, I would tell her to look within herself, and me being a woman, and I grew up with black dolls, white dolls. I had different races of dolls. My parents didn't just give me a black doll or a white doll. So I was very well cultured around different races. So
excuse me, did you grow up in Iowa though?
No, I grew up all over.
Oh, he's military. Your father was military.
Military brat.
Absolutely.
So, gotcha. But I would tell her, beauty is from within. It's what's inside that is considered beautiful.
Correct. And having said that, and I think that it's developed at a young age, and that's why I went to the doll scenario, because if it's instilled, no matter how you look or no matter what other people think, if it's instilled in you from childhood to grace, then you got to worry about it. Because I've seen some people that are drop dead gorgeous, but their childhood did not reflect that, or were not told that, or weren't shown that, and they did not. And you probably see them all the time. These beautiful women, and everybody's like, she's got everything. She's gorgeous. She got a job, and she feels so bad about herself. So my first point is that the importance of how your children are raised and how they will feel upon themselves as they become adults and feeling beautiful. So do you think that there's a heavy influence in the child rearing to how they would feel about themselves later on in life? Or what's your opinion on that?
Oh, definitely is. I know that as far as like the way I was raised, there was never, and my mom is a lighter skinned black woman, and there was never, and my dad's a dark skinned black man, there was never talk of, oh, she's pretty because she's lighter, or she's not that attractive because she's darker. So I never,
your psyche didn't process anything like that.
I don't like that girl because she's darker than me, or she's prettier because she's lighter. I never understood that. My parents didn't raise me like that.
Right.
They raised me to like the person based on their characteristics, not based upon their beauty. So to me, it was always the inside. So I've just never, seen someone from the outside and judged and said, okay, I don't like them because they're not beautiful. So beauty to me has always been their character and who they are on the inside. So.
And we were talking about marriage earlier and everything, and we were talking about some of the reasons that people divorce or break up. Mm-hmm. And I think a lot of people at times, younger people mostly, I would imagine, but they marry for superficial things based on beauty. I hear girls say, I want a guy 6'4". Of course, you know I'm 5'0". But like you said, it never made me feel insecure or anything because I know what type of father I am. Mm-hmm. I know what kind of provider I am. Mm-hmm. And I know all the qualities that a husband would possess, I would possess. So I never had the problem with that. But can you understand, or have you ever dealt with girls or females and your friend that, and this is kind of like beauty because girls that say, oh, I won't date a guy unless he's 6'4", and then they marry somebody that's 6'4" that treats them like. And now we'll be taking a quick break. Yo, check this out. My name is Kermit Elliott. I want you to subscribe to my channel, Let's Talk with Kermit Elliott. We're going to be talking about things that really hit close to home. We're going to talk about healthcare. We're going to talk about eating healthy, relationships, and several other things. We're gonna have subject matter experts to come talk on different topics. We're gonna talk to entrepreneurs, and you're gonna be talking to your boy, Kermit Elliott. Check us out. Thanks for joining us on this episode of Beauty with my special guest, Laura. So, have you experienced that, or your thoughts on that?
Me experience that personally, where I haven't.
Oh, if you have a girlfriend or something.
Yeah,
you haven't just heard girls say that. I won't date a guy unless he's 6'4".
Yeah,
and you see him with a 6'4".
And now there's nothing wrong with preferences.
Absolutely.
I have my own preference. There's nothing wrong with preferences, but I truly try to look at the person from within. Obviously, the outside is going to grab me. Like I said, I have preferences. But when I begin to start talking to them, if they can hold a conversation, if they can carry themselves with confidence, and I guess nowadays everybody calls it swag, they have the swag, that right there, that's going to grab my attention. Yep. Some women don't like the bad boy. Some women don't like a man with swag,
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And people have preferences, and people's definition is beauty. Can you give me your definition of what you consider beautiful?
Well,
in a person, in general.
Well, I am also, I shouldn't say religious. That's, I do hold
you have a religious faith?
I do hold a strong belief in God. So, and I believe in the biblical teachings. So, with that being said, biblically, and I follow the Bible, biblically and personally, with it, even in the Bible, it talks about inner beauty. Don't look at the adornment of a person, meaning their gold. It talks about them. Don't look at them wearing gold and their hair plaited and everything, and don't look at all that outside. Look at the inside, and they said that is what is considered worthy to God. So, awesome. So even in the Bible, it speaks on inner beauty, So, so for me, something that is beautiful to me is someone that is confident, someone that is loving,
Absolutely.
So, and that truly loves God. So, to me, that's beautiful.
Awesome. How do you think? Because I don't want to get into your age. I know women get sensitive about that.
No, I'm actually proud of my age.
Okay, well that's even better.
I will be 40 in 17 days.
Okay.
So.
And you're beautiful.
Thank you.
So, how do you think beauty has changed since your childhood up until now? Just in what the media portrays as beautiful and what that we as consumers of the media see as beauty. Because back in the day, when you look at commercials, they're a lot different than we see today.
Oh yeah. When I was a kid, everything was airbrushed, and a woman had to look a certain way, and there was normally white women. You normally seen white women or light women. You didn't see dark skin. You didn't see big bone or just obese. You didn't see Hispanics on TV. You didn't see that. And so now, and even Dove has started a campaign where they have women of all shapes and sizes, and women with stretch marks.
That's more of a true reflection of
really
what society looks like.
It really is.
So you had a lot of people, not to cut you off, but you had a lot of people chasing an image that they would never get.
Right.
Because, I mean, if you're 5'4" and you're thick boned and from Texas and you eat a certain diet, then you would never be 6'1" and 110.
Right.
So, but that beauty doesn't mean you're not beautiful. But that's the way the media portrayed it then.
Right.
But there has been a lot of changes. Like we talked about Ariel earlier. That was a change, so that was amazing. It would help a lot of young girls understand that beauty changes a lot, has changed. And one other thing, we just have to say that when I think of beauty, I think of Halle Berry. But I just had to throw that in there. But no, I truly understand what you're saying.
Many times, so y'all know.
That's part of my point. And we're talking about beauty too. We can't talk about beauty without talking about Beyonce. A lot of people have said, and I know you and I disagreed on this subject, that they think that Beyonce may have been propelled to where she is because of her beauty. I'm from Houston, so I beg to differ. I think that she has an impeccable work ethic. So do you think that women that are beautiful can tend to advance in their career, not necessarily entertainment, but in their careers, period, based on their beauty? Because you were in the Marines, and I know, I was in the military too, so I know some girls did come in there and...
And you know, I'm glad that you mentioned that, because being a Marine and being a female Marine and the field of study that I worked at, the job that I worked, there was either, I worked supply, so I worked in a warehouse. There was either, you were either going to work in a warehouse or you want to work as a secretary. There was a darker skinned black woman that worked in the office, and I couldn't work in an office. And I used to ask, my boss, why can't I work in an office? Why do I have to work out here with the rest of the guys? And there was only 3 of us females, and 2 of the females worked in office, and I worked outside, and they were darker than me. And he told me, he said, "You're not pretty enough." He
said that?
He said I was not pretty enough. He said He said that she puts on makeup and she does her nails and she looks pretty. And I mean, I put makeup on, but it wasn't like heavy. Like
you weren't extremely superficial.
Correct. I was
you were a Marine to do your job.
I was there to do my job. She was there for other reasons, but and so I realized, and watching, being a Marine and watching other females in the Marine Corps, there was a lot of women that were extremely attractive that did pick up rank and
stuff
and things like based on their beauty. So that wasn't me, but that's not to say that I'm not beautiful, So.
Right. Because I do believe you're beautiful. And I want to thank you for joining us today and telling us your opinions on beauty. And the theme of the show was, we're talking about beauty and self-esteem. So I hope we help improve someone's thoughts of themselves. You don't have to be size 2 to be beautiful.
No.
You don't have to have hair down, cascading down your back to be beautiful. The best way to be beautiful is be the best, authentic you that you can be. You believe it, you can achieve it. And I want to thank you, Laura, for joining us.
You're welcome. Thank you.
And thank you, audience, for joining us.